heard folks say, quote, that ain't nothing but just the truth, unquote. What if the truth is something I don't want to hear? Am I at liberty, because I am a quote-unquote free man, am I at liberty to change truth to suit my own taste, desires, and needs? This Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, day number 4, Torah portion Re'eh, meaning to see. Let's go to the end of chapter number 12 of the book of Deuteronomy, or Devarim, and then continue into chapter number 13. Devarim 12:32, all the words I am commanding you, guard to do it. Do not add to it, nor take away from it. Chapter 13, verse 1. When there arises among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, he shall give you a sign or a wonder, and the sign or wonder shall come true, which he has spoken to you, saying, let us go after other mighty ones which you have not known, and serve them. Do not listen to the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams, for Yahweh your Elohim is trying you to know whether you love Yahweh your Elohim with all your heart and with all your being. Walk after Yahweh your Elohim and fear him, and guard his commands and obey his voice, and serve him and cling to him. I find it very interesting that whoever came up with the division of the Torah into chapters and verses did so at the break of chapter 12 and 13 in the way that they did. These two verses in the Torah scroll just juxtaposed together. Yah is saying to us that we're not to add to or to take away from the Torah. And then immediately he says, but if there arises a dreamer that suggests that you do so, you're not to listen to him. We're told in the book of Revelation, chapter number 13, that the anti-Messiah is going to have the power of persuasion, assisted and aided by a false prophet. Now, however that or they manifest is yet to be seen. But the reality is that the most of the world will go after them because of lying signs and wonders. Yeshua warned us about deceptive things, that if the days were not shortened, even you and I would be deceived. So there is strong delusion that is coming. Let me rephrase that. Strong delusion is already here. People are absolutely losing the stability and the right boundaries of their minds. And they are being easily persuaded into foolish things, foolish decisions, foolish processes, foolish entertainment, foolish truth, quote unquote, whatever that is, versions of truth. The world is being very quickly divided between those who are clinging to the word of Elohim and to their Messiah, and those that are going according to the systems of this present age. The spin cycle is going to get faster, and we're going to have to make quicker decisions. We need to be filled with the Ruach and filled with the Word so that we can be very quickly quickened to know what is truth and what is not, what is deception. Now, let's get some very basic understanding underfoot here, or under grasp would be a better way of saying it. The Torah is the Torah. It is complete. When we began to try to add other scriptural texts to the Torah to do away with the Torah, then we're misinterpreting Scripture. From the first verse of Bereshit or Genesis to the last verse of the book of Devarim or Deuteronomy, all that is contained within is the complete Torah. The laws, commands, the teachings, and instructions of Yah to his people, Am Israel. If you are born again, if you're in Messiah, you're a part of Am Israel. You're adopted in. So there's no exclusionary clauses. It says, well, I'm Goyim, I'm a Gentile, and therefore it doesn't apply to me. If you belong to Messiah, you're Abraham's seed, and that means then that you are also answerable, accountable, and subject to the Torah, the teachings and the instructions of Yah. No exclusionary clauses are available for us. Any additional scriptures that we see post the book of Devarim, the prophets, the historical writings of how that Israel went into the land and took the land, the stories of the kings and their reigns, the stories of how Yeshua came to this earth and lived among us, the Acts of the Apostles, the Halakhic writings of the followers of Messiah, of Kepha or Peter, Yochanan or John, Rav Shaul, or as we say, the Apostle Paul, and others, then all of that has to agree with the Torah in order to be legitimate. You cannot take any text and say that it does away with the Torah. The Torah came first. And that's just plain, simple. And it says that we're not to add to the word, such as with man's decrees and laws and customs and traditions, whether they are Christian or Catholic in their origin or rabbinical in their origin. Neither are we to take away from it. Again, regardless of its source, you're not allowed to come up with an idea that you can do away with the Torah or any part of it. The word is the word. Now, it says here that we are going to see dreamers and prophets, that they could rise up and their prophecies, their dreams may actually come to pass. But if the effect and the intended persuasion afterwards is to turn your heart away from the Torah, Yah says you do not listen to them. My first question for anyone who claims to be a prophet, do you agree that the Torah applies to us today? Well, Barry, you may miss out on something that someone would accurately prophesy. I may, but I'm not going to listen to them. I will trust Yah and His Word to tell me what I need to know more than those who try to do away with it. To me, that's the test as to whether or not someone is legit or not. If Yah didn't send them, even if they tell something that comes to pass, I have to question, where did you get your information? Because Yah didn't send you. Now let's continue on. Yah says in the book of Ecclesiastes through the writer in chapter 12, verse 13, let us hear the conclusion of the entire matter. The writer has been arguing about that which is vanity, that which is useless and profitless, against that which is long-lasting, enduring, and is based on truth. And he says, fear Elohim and guard His commands, for this applies to all mankind. Again, there is the religious argument. And again, this is a religious argument. That if I am not born a Jew, then the Torah does not apply to me. If you are adopted into the family of Yah, then you are a Hebrew, you are a seed of Abraham, and you're subject to the Torah. Period. So it doesn't matter where you were born or what clan or nationality or ethnicity or race or whatever, none of that has anything to do with it. If you belong to Messiah, you belong to Him and His Word. Yeshua, He said in Yochanan, John chapter number 14, verse 25, these words I have spoken to you while with you. And let's go back a verse 24. He who does not love me does not guard my words, and the words which you hear is not mine, but of the Father who sent me. The word that Yeshua gave to us is that of the Father. What did the Father say? He gave us the Torah. Reject prophets, reject dreamers, reject false messiahs. Cling to the truth. Torah is truth. More tomorrow. To then, shalom.